The Arch Gaming Network is proud to bring you this flash review. Now here's your host, Sean Smith.
Hello, and thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to take a look at the game Codename Pictures by Vlaada Chvátil and published by CGE Games. Now, Codename Pictures is a 2016 follow-up to the smash hit by a similar name, just Codenames. It's by the same designer and published by the same company. And it follows the same premise of that very popular game in that you and your fellow spies are going to try to meet one another on this board, and the spy master is going to be giving clues to your team, a one-word clue that will match these pictures that are on the table. Your job as the team is to try and guess which picture the spy master was referring to in his clue. If you can do that, you can meet up successfully. But if you don't, you may hit an innocent bystander, you may accidentally meet up with your opponent's spies, or worse, the assassin. Codename Pictures is a party game. It's a deduction game with some pressure luck, and it's for 2 to 8 players. 2 players probably isn't the best, but you can play it that way. 4 players minimum is probably best. You can always play more than 8 if you wanted to. Let's take a look at this game, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it on the other side. Okay, to set up Codename Pictures, you're going to set up a grid, a 4x5 grid of these double-sided picture cards. You have a lot to choose from. Just create a grid at random. You're going to take these innocent bystanders and place them by the board. You have the assassin, place that by the board. Then you have your operatives. You have the blue team and the red team. You're going to take one of these cards. These will tell you which clues your team has to guess during the game. Place it in this orientation. The red here and here state that the red is the first player, so they will get this double agent. It has a blue side and a red side. This means that the red team will have to guess one more clue during the game. However, they also get to go first. All right, so now let's take a closer look at these cards and give you an overview of how the game is played. Now, the object of the game is for you to get your team to guess all of the pictures that are represented on this card. Now, your team cannot see this card. Only the 2 clue givers can. So the red team has these to guess. The blue team has those to guess. Anything that is in kind of the tannish, beige, off-white color, those are innocent bystanders. And the X means that if somebody guesses this card, that is the assassin, and whoever picks it, that team loses the game. On this card, the top of the card represents the top row, and the bottom row, and, well, you get it. So the red team will go first, and on your turn, if you're the clue giver, you can give your teammates a one-word clue. After that, you'll also give a number. This is the number of cards that you believe matches the one-word clue that you just gave. Now, in general, as far as clues that you can give, all wordplay is allowed. So you could come right out as the red player and say, Igloo 1, and your teammates then could point to that to see if they have a correct guess. You're also allowed to spell out your clue if you want. If somebody asks you to spell out your clue, you must do so. The clues must be about the picture. Now, the rulebook goes a little more in-depth in examples and breaking down the rules, but for the most part, they're fairly relaxed. Let's say for the red player, he's just going to say Igloo 1, and the opponents will see the picture, point to it, and if they are correct, they get to put one of their operatives on it. Now, the blue team has all of these clues, and this one, and this one, and this one. Let's say the blue team says War 2. Well, the blue team sees a grenade pineapple and thinks, okay, well, that's war related, and will point to it. They are correct, so they get one of their operatives on it. Now let's say the blue team can't decide between one of these two clues. Chess, and the chess piece is knocked over. There's a hammer. Chess is like a war, but then you also have a cannon that's made from a bottle. That could also indicate war. So, you know what, they end up going with this as their second guess. Well, from looking at the card, that is the red player's clue. So, unfortunately for the blue team, the red players will get that card. If they had picked something like this, that's an innocent bystander, that would go there as well. Anytime a team picks the wrong card, their turn is automatically over. Maybe the red team says animal 3. Well, they look and they see a cat, so they point to that. That's correct. They see a snake, they're like, oh, that, yeah. Correct, and then they look at the rest of them. Well, this has a monkey, an ape, so maybe that was it, so they point to that. Well, they were correct on all 3. They're now leading 5-1, a massive lead. So now it's the blue team's turn again, and she's going to get clever and try to get them to guess this one, and this one, that'd be this one and this one. And so she says, excavation 2. Well, they see this and they think, well, that could do some excavation, so they point to that, and they are correct. And they look around, and well, they have a sickle. I guess they could excavate with that, so they point to that. They're correct, so they now get those 2. Now, it's important to remember, after every team guesses the number of guesses that the clue giver gave them, in this case, excavation 2, teams get 1 additional guess. Now, the blue team knows that they missed one the round before when the word was war. So they now have an extra guess that they can use to point to this card, which they are now correct, and their turn is now over. Play will continue until one team gets rid of all of their operatives, or if a team accidentally picks the assassin, they automatically lose. And that's how you play Codename Pictures. Okay, so Codename Pictures. When I saw Codename Pictures, I thought, well, they're just kind of repackaging the same game. How much different could it be? And on the surface, really, it's not that different. But bringing the picture element into it certainly is successful, because the game can be a little bit easier to teach and to play with other players. And the pictures in the game are really good and weird. I mean, you have a kind of an octopus with a present and shield with toothpaste and a toothbrush. So there is a lot of variety and a lot going on with the cards, and the cards are a good size. The assassin and your agents and bystanders are nice and thick, so they'll hold up well. They're good quality. And again, with these cards, the picture cards, this is just half of them. And again, they're double-sided, so you get a lot of replayability. And then as far as the Spy Master's grid cards, where they have to pick, there are a bunch of those as well. So a lot of replayability in the game. Now, as far as the gameplay, it's certainly easier than the original Codenames, because you could actually just come right out and give a clue of what that picture actually is. So in that regards, it makes it a little easier to play. And as a party game, it tends to work well. It's a thinky game, not a funny, laughter-ridden party game, but because of the fact that you can work with partners or, a couple of different teams, and you all are working together to try and guess these clues, it certainly it lends itself more to a party and to people who who maybe are a little apprehensive about, playing a, maybe a little more thinky game because they have other people that they can lean on and rely on as well. The game plays quick. You're talking 10, 15 minutes to play. It allows you to really get in multiple games, mix up the teams, mix up clue givers, and I really like that about the game. Now, is it better than the original one? I don't know. I do think it's easier to play. I like them both the same, and I really can't decide which one that I like to play more. So it's solid, it's a good party game, and I give this one an 8 out of 10. Hey, if you like this video, please take a moment to hit the like button below, subscribe to our channel for other great video reviews, and once again, thank you for stopping by.
This Flash review was brought to you by the Arch Gaming Network. Check us out on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.